What's up, viewers? Robonut here, back in with another video. Today I'm going to be taking you guys through my latest mock. I'll show you all the crazy details that went into it, but before we get into that, I would like to urge you guys to subscribe down below because I have some crazy content coming up. I actually have not one but two videos planned for tomorrow. I got a time-lapse video of this mock. Basically it'll be just me building this mock. It'll be most of the build process because actually my phone died during one of my time lapses, but you know, don't even worry about that. And then the other video is going to be kind of a little shout out to the guys on Instagram and Discord. But it's a surprise video. You'll see what it is when I put it out. But if you guys are excited for those videos, definitely go ahead and subscribe down below, and let's go ahead and jump right into it. Starting things off here at the bottom, we have this nice detailing that I have created. We have some like pant legs, we have some masonry bricks, basically just a bunch of random pieces that I threw together to kind of get that worn vibe. You know, this isn't your new neighborhood Taco Bell, this is more your old sketchy McDonald's that nobody goes to because they never clean the bathrooms. That's kind of the vibe I was going for, and I think it turned out really, really nice. We also have some really worn floor on top of that. We have the tiles mixed in with some plates to give some studs that really break up the monotony of just tiles. Then we have these like gaps in between that kind of make it a little bit uneven, like a floor would be if it was super worn. And we have some olive green mixed in just to kind of give it a contrast, and I think that turned out really, really nice. And then we have this nice dark bluish gray platform that's lower than everything else. Basically why I did that was to kind of give it a little bit more variety, and it also gave me the opportunity to raise everything else up and to kind of have an excuse for doing that, I guess you could say. So I think that was a pretty nice technique to use. And also the dark bluish gray flooring kind of gives an opportunity to break up the light gray that is surrounding most of the build. So I think that turned out really, really nice. We have some random scrap piles just kind of sitting around because, you know, the Imperial Janitor Service is really slacking. We have a Rhodian over here who just does not want to get involved. He's just kind of backing away. And you know what? I don't blame him. If I were just like a random guy, I wouldn't want to get involved in whatever the heck's going on over there. But yeah, he's just walking away, and honestly, I feel that, man. Moving over to the left side of the build, we have this nice little structure with this slanted wall that really breaks up the squareness of the build, I guess you could say. Just gives it a little bit more of an angular look, gives it a little bit more of an appealing vibe, I guess you could say. We have some really nice detailing mixed in. We have some dark bluish gray, we have some masonry, we have headlight bricks, things like that. Then we have these ingot pattern things at the top that just kind of look Star Wars-y. I don't know what they're for, but it gives off that futuristic vibe, so I really like that. And then we have like a little, I guess you could say like half cylinder pattern on the side, and I think that turned out pretty nice. It's dark bluish gray, so again, it's helping to break up all the light bluish gray. That's something you'll see a lot in my builds. I really try to break up, just like if I'm using one main color, I try to break it up with little details here and there, and I think that helps elevate the build to another level. If we move over to the right side of the build, you can see that I used the same sort of wearing technique that I used on the left, just to kind of make it feel like it's all part of the same planet or the same building or whatever. We have this nice dark bluish gray door that opens vertically. It originally opened horizontally like the doors do like on the Death Star, but I actually had to change that. Shout out to Rich Boy J for actually pointing this out to me. If the door opened horizontally, there is literally nowhere for it to go. It would just fall out of the building. So there was no logic in that. So I actually rebuilt it to open vertically, and I'm really glad I did that. Now, guys, I do want to level with you guys for a second. Behind that door is an infinite pit that people are falling through, and those people are the percentage of people who aren't subscribed. So, guys, if you don't want to be falling through a pit for eternity, definitely go ahead and subscribe. That's not a risk you guys want to take. Moving on to the second floor, we have this nice window design with these tiles that just kind of sit in there. They're not really connected in any way. It's a legal technique, I guess you could say. But, they're just kind of sitting in there with a black background, and I think that effect really works out. It took me a while to make sure that the tiles weren't actually being stressed by the top of the build. I had to use some snot bricks, but in the end, it turned out really nice. I'm very, very glad that I ended up doing that. Next up, we have the roof. I have a little bit of a shout out to you gamer bros out there. Basically, I stole a design from Minecraft. Don't tell Mojang. The fence design up here, this little like dark bluish gray design, I basically stole that from Minecraft. I forget what the piece is called in game. I believe it's like stone brick fence or something like that, but basically I liked that design in game and I decided to go ahead and utilize it in the build, and I think it turned out really nice. It looks like something you'd find in Star Wars, so I was very happy with that. We also have some crates up here. They're the same crates that I used in some other builds. It's a really bad habit. I gotta break that habit. I really need to build more crates and get better at doing that. But for this build, I was just like, okay, we can just throw some in there. They're really not the star of the show. We also have a bridge in the middle of the build, and this bridge is one of my favorite parts because it gave me the opportunity to include this banner. Now, I would like to shout out the Brick Guild. It was actually his idea to include the banner. That I'm not smart enough to come up with something like that, but I was very, very happy to include this banner because it really draws your attention to the middle of the build because of its color contrast, and it looks really nice. We got the Imperial logo on there too, which it always looks super great. Then we have the minifigures. Now guys, the minifigures was something that I really put a lot more work into than you might think. Basically, my original plan was to do like a Battlefront styled fight, I guess you could say. I had rebels just kind of scattered about randomly fighting stormtroopers. And I did not like this. The minifigures just kind of blended into the colors of the MOC. It really wasn't too good. So I ended up just taking all those minifigs off and redoing the placements. And basically what I ended up doing was I ended up doing some sort of like Order 66 type storyline with the Jedi versus Darth Vader in the 501st. And I was very glad that I decided to include the 501st because they add a really, really nice contrast to the build with the blue and the white, and that's something you don't really see anywhere else in the build, so it really draws your eye to them. And then we have, of course, Vader coming in towards the Jedi. And the Jedi is front and center. And that's something I really, really like about that. The positioning of it, because it really draws your eye to him. And, it should, because he's part of the main stories of the build. So he should definitely be front and center. So I'm very, very glad that I was able to include that. But that's going to finish up the video, guys. I hope you all enjoyed. Definitely leave a like down below and subscribe because I got those 2 videos coming out tomorrow that I think you guys are really going to enjoy. But thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you all next time. Robonut out.